We were supposed to get married. She said she needed a break because she was feeling old emotions for her ex. The next day, my agent sold our house and I disappeared without a trace. We met 3 years ago at a stupid dog adoption fundraiser. She was holding this tiny chihuahua wrapped in a pink blanket like it was a newborn. I remember thinking, God, she's out of my league. The kind of woman who grew up going to ballet recitals and wine tastings, not like me, raised by a single dad who fixed broken AC units for a living. But she smiled at me like I mattered. We started talking about dogs, then books, then trauma. You know when you think someone gets you? That was her. She knew how to listen in a way that made me feel like the main character in a world I'd always just been background noise in. Her name was Hannah. The first year was heaven. We moved in together in this little 2-bedroom house I'd inherited from my aunt. We painted the walls together, argued over furniture, and talked about marriage like it was inevitable. She used to say things like, "You're my home. I don't care about the rest." But there were signs. Small ones. The kind you don't question because love makes you stupid. Every time we disagreed, even about something dumb like groceries, she'd sigh and say, "I just need space to process." Not in a healthy boundary-setting way, but like it was my fault she couldn't speak to me for days. She had this thing where she always framed her selfishness as deep emotional work. Like when she canceled plans last minute because she was overstimulated but then posted on Instagram from a rooftop party. Or when she blocked me from seeing her location one night and later said I just needed to be by myself and reflect on past wounds. Bullshit. It was always some soft-sounding excuse to cover something cold underneath. Still, I loved her. I proposed in September. She said yes through tears, wrapped her arms around me, and whispered, "You're the one I prayed for." We started planning the wedding, nothing fancy, just a backyard thing with fairy lights and barbecue. My best friend was going to DJ. Her sister was going to officiate. It was supposed to be our day. Then 3 days before our final catering appointment, she sat me down on the back porch. It was dusk. Mosquitoes buzzed. The air smelled like summer and citronella. She held her mug with both hands like it was a therapy session and said, "I've been feeling complicated emotions lately. About my past." I remember every word of what she said because they carved themselves into me like glass. "I think I need a break, some space. I've been reflecting and realizing I still have unresolved feelings for someone I used to love. My ex." She said my ex like he was just a ghost haunting her peace, not a man she probably still texted late at night while I made her tea. "It's not that I want to be with him. I need time to understand what I'm really feeling before I commit to forever." There was no remorse in her voice. Just that calm, therapist-y tone she always used when she wanted to avoid accountability. She talked about inner clarity, about not wanting to hurt me long-term, but she never once looked like she was sorry. It wasn't sadness in her eyes. It was relief. I sat there staring at the woman I thought I'd grow old with, realizing she'd probably been planning this for weeks. Maybe months. She was never coming back from this break. This was her exit. Polished. Clean. Wrapped in self-help buzzwords and guiltless detachment. So I nodded. I didn't cry. Didn't ask for explanations. Just said okay. She tilted her head like she didn't expect me to take it so well. And that was the last time she saw me. Because the next day, while she was taking time to think, I was at my real estate agent's office signing the sale documents for the house. I'd already been considering moving for work. So I made one phone call, listed it at market price, and had a cash offer within 6 hours. I packed my things. Not the wedding stuff, she could keep all that. I left the ring on her nightstand. Took my dog, my laptop, my books, and disappeared. Changed my number. Deleted my socials. Disconnected from everyone we knew. She woke up to an empty house and a sold sign in the yard. I didn't leave a note. She said she needed space. I gave her the whole damn continent. I don't know what people imagine when they picture betrayal. Maybe a loud fight. Crying. Screaming. Accusations flying like plates across a kitchen. But mine came in a soft, neutral voice on a Tuesday evening. "I'm not saying I don't love you." She kept saying that. Over and over like it was supposed to comfort me. "I do love you. I think I need to explore these unresolved emotions before we move forward." Explore. That word felt like a knife in the ribs. She tried to make it sound clinical, like we were co-authoring a study on heartbreak. Meanwhile, my entire world was starting to tilt. I looked at her and saw someone who didn't even flinch when she gutted me. Her tone never cracked. Her fingers didn't tremble. I think she actually believed she was doing something brave. But I saw it. The shift. This wasn't a confused woman facing some emotional crossroads. This was a calculated choice, masked in poetic language. A exit strategy. And the most twisted part? She wanted me to thank her for her honesty, for her emotional transparency. She said, I know this isn't easy to hear. And I know it's sudden, but I've been feeling these things building for a while now. It wouldn't be fair to you if I ignored them. So let me get this straight, you wait until 3 days before finalizing our wedding details, right when our guest list is finalized, right when deposits are paid, right when my mom has already ordered custom table runners to tell me you're having reflections. About your ex-boyfriend? Nah, this wasn't honesty. This was theater. She wanted to look like the bigger person while throwing a grenade at my chest and walking away untouched. And I didn't give her what she expected. No begging. No anger. No, please don't do this. I just said okay. She blinked, surprised. Maybe even a little disappointed. Like she wanted the tears? Needed them to justify her own twisted sense of morality. She said she was going to stay with her friend Tasha for a few days to clear her head. Tasha, who'd once told me that Hannah deserved someone with more ambition. Tasha, who also had a history of cheating on her own partner and calling it rediscovering her truth. Yeah, that tracked. I told her she should take as long as she needed. And while she was out soul-searching and journaling her way through old emotions, I did something else. I took control. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the porch with my dog curled up next to me, staring out into the dark, and I realized something. I didn't want to be a supporting character in someone else's drama anymore. At 6 a.m. I called my real estate agent, Chris. I'd already told him weeks ago I was toying with the idea of selling the house. He thought I was crazy for even considering it, but he said the market was hot. This time, I wasn't toying with anything. List it today. I want it gone, I said. My voice sounded strange in my own ears. Cold. Final. I pulled money from my savings and booked a furnished short-term rental 2 hours away under a temporary name for now. I packed my essentials in one day. Clothes. Dog stuff. My tools. Passport. Birth certificate. All the wedding items? The dress, the decorations, the photos we took during our engagement shoot? Left it all behind. I took the ring she had picked out and left it in a velvet box on her pillow. The next morning, the for sale sign went up in the yard. By 4 p.m., the house had a full cash offer from a guy in Sacramento. I accepted. And then I was gone. Just like that. No note. No closure. No last words. She said she needed time and space. So I gave her both in a way she'd never forget. It took exactly 38 hours for her to reach out. I was at a gas station off Highway 50 drinking terrible black coffee and watching my dog sniff grass that probably hadn't seen rain in weeks. That's when my phone, my old phone, still connected for just a few more hours, lit up. 20 missed calls. 14 texts. 1 voicemail. All from her. The first message was exactly what I expected. Hey. I think we need to talk. Can you call me when you get this? I'm not saying we made the wrong choice taking space. I just feel like I wasn't totally clear, right? Because I still have feelings for my ex and need a break 3 days before our wedding was murky. Got it. Then came the panic. Why is there a for sale sign in the yard? Are you serious right now? Chris said you sold the house? Without even talking to me? What the Jason, asterisk. The voicemails were worse. I played them once just to feel something. But they only confirmed what I already knew. She wasn't upset because she lost me. She was upset because she lost control. There was crying. Then yelling. Then bargaining. She said she was just confused, that she never meant to hurt me, that she needed time to figure out what her heart was trying to say. But nowhere in those 14 messages or 3 voicemails did she say she loved me. And that told me everything. See, when you really love someone, you don't risk losing them to see if someone else still might want you. You don't throw away loyalty just to explore nostalgia. I turned the phone off for good. Dropped it in a donation bin with a few other things I didn't want to carry anymore. She didn't know where I'd gone. I never told her about the backup savings account. Never told her that the title of the house was only in my name. She never cared about that stuff. Finances bored her. That's your domain, she once said, laughing. So I handled my domain. The day the sale closed, Chris called and asked if I was sure I didn't want to leave a forwarding address. She seems really desperate to reach you, he said. Keeps showing up asking questions. Tell her the house isn't hers anymore, I said. That's all she needs to know. I found peace in the silence that followed. Mornings got quieter. Nights didn't hurt as much. And something inside me started to harden, not in a bitter, vengeful way, but like iron cooling into shape. I wasn't broken. I was being reforged. And you know what's wild? I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her. The dream I had built around us. The future I thought we were stepping into hand in hand. But her? The actual woman who threw away our life together for the ghost of an ex? Nah, I didn't miss her at all. I thought about how many times she'd used soft language to mask sharp betrayals. How she turned gaslighting into poetry. How she always needed to process whenever she hurt me but never gave me the same grace. One time I caught her texting her ex months before all this, and when I asked about it, she said, "He's just a mirror for me. Talking to him helps me understand who I am." A mirror. Like I wasn't right there every day, loving her fully, seeing her clearly, and trying to build a life together. I don't think she ever really wanted me. I think she wanted a version of herself that looked better in the mirror she imagined, conflicted, desirable, emotionally complex. But what she was selfish. And I finally saw it. It didn't take long for the narrative to flip. At first, it was just her, reaching out like wildfire, texts, voicemails, emails. The usual. But then the ripple started. I got a message from her sister. "Hey, I don't know what's going on between you and Hannah, but she's really hurting. I know she told you she needed space, but this disappearing act? That's not okay, right? Because cheating with emotional training wheels is apparently fine, but responding by protecting your peace? That's the sin." A day later, my best man texted me. "Dude, did you really sell the house and bounce? Hannah's been calling everyone, freaking out. I don't want to pick sides, but this looks kinda harsh." Harsh. That word stuck in my ribs like a rusty nail. What I did leaving wasn't cruel. It was clean. Quiet. Final. There were no screaming matches, no throne plates, no online smear campaigns. I didn't ruin her credit, trash her name, or post screenshots of her old messages with the guy she claimed she was healing from. I simply got out. Efficiently. And that scared her more than any confrontation ever could. See, Hannah had always been the narrator of her life. She curated every photo caption, every group chat update, every dinner party story to make herself the protagonist. A little damaged, a little misunderstood, but always well-intentioned. When things got hard, she painted herself as the one trying the hardest. So when she told people, I was honest with him. I needed to process some emotions about my past, and instead of talking it through, he just ran away and sold our house out from under me. It sounded like truth. Because she dressed it in vulnerability. What she didn't say. That she'd been texting her ex in secret for months. That she planned the break right before our final wedding prep so she wouldn't look like the bad guy. That the night after she dropped her "I need space" speech, she went straight to Tasha's and then out to drinks with the very man she said she just needed closure with. Yeah. I saw the tagged photo. Her arm around him. Wine glass in hand. Smile untouched. But I stayed silent. Let her talk. Let her cry to her friends. Let her spin her little story about the man who ran away. I was done explaining myself to people who didn't ask for the whole story. Instead, I focused on staying gone. I changed my number. Opened a new bank account. I'd already pulled my name from our joint wedding plans, easy since I paid for 90% of it anyway. My only regret was that my mom had already bought a dress for the ceremony. She cried when I told her we weren't getting married. But when I said, "She left me, Mom. For someone else," she just nodded once and said, "Then she never deserved you." God bless her for that. Meanwhile, the people who did pick sides? They told on themselves. A few mutual friends, mostly from Hannah's yoga circles and her carefully curated brunch crowd, sent me long, overly sincere messages about healing and mutual accountability. I hope one day you two can talk it through. This isn't the kind of thing you just walk away from without regret. Nah. Sometimes it is. Sometimes regret isn't about leaving, it's about staying too long in a place where you're being slowly hollowed out, one excuse at a time. I didn't respond to any of them. Because the minute you start defending your silence, it becomes noise again. And I was finally at peace. Rebuilding doesn't happen like you think it will. It's not some glorious montage of gym workouts and sunrise hikes and whiskey with your boys while they slap your back and say you're better off. It's small, boring, painful choices again and again. I spent the first few weeks in a furnished rental about 2 hours away, a place with squeaky floors, beige curtains, and a single fork that always felt too long in my hand. My dog adjusted faster than I did. I think he sensed I needed the silence. I'd come home from work, throw my keys in the bowl, and just sit there. No texts to answer. No shared playlists. No, "Can you grab oat milk on your way home?" Nothing. It was peaceful. And lonely. But mostly peaceful. For a while, I'd wake up thinking maybe I overreacted. Maybe I'd been too cold, too absolute. Maybe I should have given her a chance to explain more. But every time that voice crept in, I'd remember the way she said emotions for my ex like it was an academic problem, not a soul-crushing betrayal. I'd remember that photo of her with him, her head tilted back in a laugh I hadn't seen in months. No. I made the right call. I didn't run, I freed myself. People eventually stopped texting. I was a ghost and they moved on. All except for one. Her. It was a Tuesday when she showed up. I came home from work and saw her car, her old silver CRV, parked crooked at the end of the gravel driveway. She was sitting on the hood, arms folded, wearing one of those chunky sweaters she always said made her feel soft but powerful. I stopped walking as soon as I saw her. My stomach dropped, but my face stayed calm. She slid off the hood and walked toward me. Hey, she said like this was some casual meetup and not a total violation of every boundary I'd set. I don't know how you found me, I said, not moving closer. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Classic nervous tell. I asked Chris. Of course. My real estate agent. The only one who still technically knew where I landed. You shouldn't be here, I said flatly. I know, she replied. But I had to see you. No, you didn't. That stopped her. For once, she didn't have a follow-up line. No emotionally poetic explanation. Just silence. Then finally, the words I'd been waiting to hear, but that somehow meant absolutely nothing. I made a mistake. I laughed. I couldn't help it. It wasn't bitter, it was just absurd. No. You made a choice. Don't insult me by calling it a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you. You just meant to, what? Test drive nostalgia? Wreck our future to scratch an old itch. Her eyes filled with tears, and I swear to God, I felt nothing. Not rage. Not sadness. Not satisfaction. Just peace. The kind that comes after a storm when you realize everything that needed to be washed away was. She tried to talk again, but I cut her off. I don't care about your feelings anymore, Hannah. You said you needed space. I gave you the entire world. You chose him. And then when he didn't hold up, you came crawling back like this was some round-trip ticket. It's not. But you never gave me a chance to fix it, she whispered. Exactly, I said. That was the point. She stood there for a while, maybe waiting for me to crack, to say I still loved her, that I missed her. But I didn't. I walked past her, up the steps, into the house, and closed the door behind me. She didn't knock. She sat in her car for a while. Then she drove away. And that was the last time I saw her.